Hello, and welcome to this edition of Garbage Time on UWW-TV. I'm Eli Stickles, and this week I'm joined by Nadiri Morgan-Thompson and Michael Hernan, and our job for the next 30 minutes is to simply talk sports. So let's begin. Guys, let's kick it off. We had rivalry week. Michael, Battle of Southern California.
Yeah, you could say that, or you also could say the battle for Los Angeles. I mean, this was looking like a good one at the beginning. USC did eventually come off with the win. They did win 29-10. But I gotta say, Nico Iamaleava looked pretty solid throughout the first half. Like, they had the 10-7 lead at the first half. I mean, it looked good. He was passing the ball, completing it, not turning the ball over. He was playing very good football. And then Jalen Berger was all right. But then USC finally, in the second half, did what they did best in the Big Ten. Jaden Mayava turned it on. He went 29 for 29, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then they finally got – the main guy this game was King Miller. USC, what was different from this year's team compared to last year's team is the running game. They know how to run the football. They have an offensive line now. And King Miller definitely proved that. He had 17 carries for 124 yards. And then the receiving core, of course, Jacoby Lane, Makai Levin are just some of their stud receivers that USC win. This is a very good win for USC to take control of LA again.
Absolutely.
100%.
I mean, USC, King Miller, he was definitely playing like a king. 124 yards rushing. Don't forget about their quarterback as well. He played pretty well as well. Nearly won by 20 points.
They both had games, but moving on to a different team at California. We got to talk about them Golden Bears, right? California, they got the big win over SMU, 38-35, and that was a pretty big upset, right? SMU was trying to go to the ACC championship. They were ranked 21st in the country, and they lost. California was led by JKS, the freshman quarterback, 330 yards and 4 touchdowns, and assisted by junior running back Kendrick Raphael, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. And they had a phenomenal game, right? They were up 31-14 at the top of the fourth quarter, and though SMU was able to make it close, they were up 35-31 at a time on the final drive. They just couldn't stop Raphael from getting to the end zone.
Yeah, that was definitely a big game for Cal because you look at SMU was trying to get in the ACC championship, like you said, and now it creates controversy in the ACC because SMU lost. You got a 7-5 Duke team in the ACC title game.
Yeah.
And you have a team on the Pacific Coast in the ACC, a.k.a. the Atlantic Coast Conference. I just love how college football is made.
The realignment is definitely rough. But, UCLA and USC being in the Big Ten, that's egregious. I don't know what Big Ten you guys grew up in, but my Big Ten was Wisconsin, Ohio State, Michigan, these hard-hitting running teams. And we got these, the Pacific Coast, these throwing teams. I don't like it. Like, Nico, why is he in the Big Ten?
Let's get back on topic. Fly out of California. Let's go to Tennessee. We had the big battle of Tennessee. We had Vanderbilt and Tennessee, the Commodores and the Volunteers. And if you go years back, this would have been a huge upset. But now it just looked rather, I'd say, a big game because Vanderbilt comes out on top 45-24. It started to look close at first. Tennessee striking first, then Vanderbilt scoring 2 more touchdowns, as well as Tennessee then scoring 2 more touchdowns of their own. And then the rest is history. 45-24, huge win for Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia looked pretty good in this game. So let's go to the NBA, shoot some hoops. It's cold outside, but it's a winter sport. We're inside now. So started off, Nadiri, what do you got for us?
We got the Magic versus the Bulls, and the Bulls, when they started the season off, right, they had the best record in the league. I want to say that they were the best team in the league, but we knew that was never really true. But they had the best record. They were 5-0 at a point in this year, and they cooled off, right? They started off 5-0. Now they're 9-11. And this game was a rough game, right? They were winning for a lot of the game. They were playing without their star player, Kobe White. But towards the end of the game, they just showed that they didn't have the star power to compete with the Magic. And the Magic were playing without Paolo Banchero, who's a top 25 player on the planet. Desmond Bane had a fantastic game, 37 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And in the absence of Paolo Banchero, all the Magic players have been stepping up, right? They've been an everyone eats sort of team, the next man steps up sort of team. They've been a phenomenal team, and I think they're going to be one of the teams to beat in the East this year.
Yeah, so let's go over to Miami down in Florida. I'd say we're staying in Florida. Detroit, remember how they used to be so bad that we used to have a challenge for them? like free wings if they win, and you barely got any free wings. Well, now they're 16-4, one of the best teams in the entire NBA, and that record extends after their very close win, 138-135 win over the Miami Heat. Cade Cunningham putting up 29 points, going 14 for 25 in field goals. But don't forget about Andrew Wiggins, who had 31 points, though I'd say also shooting way better than Cunningham with 10 for 25 on field goals, going 9 for 9 on free throws.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Heat, well, the Pistons are definitely a surprise great team, right? Going into the year, everybody knew the Pistons were going to be good. They knew the Eastern Conference was kind of wide open, but I don't think anybody expected for the Pistons to be this good because after Cade, I mean, who do they have, right? Jalen Duren has made a massive step, and they have the rookie he played with Rick Pitino, Dennis Jenkins. He's having a fantastic season. The Pistons are definitely one of the teams to beat in the Eastern Conference, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to add some stars at the trade deadline.
Yeah, definitely, I gotta say it. But another team I want to look out for is the Minnesota Timberwolves because they were coming off a win against the San Antonio Spurs. They won 125-112. I watched a little tape of this one, and it looked like late. It was tied at 94-94. It looked like late that the Timberwolves just found shots. You know, they penetrated the basketball, penetrated the lane, and they were able to kick out for the corner three, and they were able to hit shots. You know, when you got guys like Naz Reid, when you got guys like Dante DiVincenzo, you got those guys in corners, and also you got Anthony Edwards, who is by far an MVP candidate. I mean, he can dribble the basketball, get a midi, get some threes.
Wait, pause. Anthony Edwards, MVP candidate? In what world? In what league? The NBA? Not the NBA.
What do you mean the NBA? He's scored 32 points. He can do it on both ends of the floor.
We talking about MVP candidate. We talking about Shea, right? Shea, that's the MVP.
Well,
not,
he's the
not
MVP
Anthony
right
Edwards.
now. I think Anthony.
And then after him, who is it?
Okay, Anthony Edwards.
Jokic, and then after who is it? Probably Cade. Who after that? Oh, I know it's not. I know it's not Ant. What are you talking about?
He's an MVP type player. I'm
he's
not saying he's
top
not
10, but you just said he was a candidate. We wrote the tape. You said candidate, bro.
Well,
if he's not a candidate,
this 32-point game they had tonight could start it. Okay.
No,
I kind of got a little carried away, but he is talented enough.
He's definitely talented enough. But I think, a big thing to talk about the Spurs, they've been playing without Victor Wembanyama, right? That's a massive win for the Timberwolves. But without Victor Wembanyama, I mean, the Spurs starting center is Luke Cornett, and all love to Luke Cornett, but he's not a tenth of the player that Victor Wembanyama is. The fact that the Spurs were able to stay into the game this long is pretty impressive. They're without Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama. De'Aaron Fox had a massive game. But I'm really looking for the rookie, Dylan Harper, right? The Spurs have a lot of guards, and I really wonder which one of them is going to stand out.
Well, yeah, definitely, going on to basketball, we're going on to campus here, starting with the men's. I wouldn't say as great of a start for the men's as for the women's, but we have their huge win against Simpson, and then their upcoming game against Lawrence. So starting with Simpson, 100-78. What were you guys' thoughts on that game?
I mean, that was a massive game by Colin Madsen. He set a new career high with 28 points, but more than that, he was 12 for 14 from the field. A super efficient game, and that was one of those games where everybody gets to score. When you're up by 22, everybody gets to play, everybody gets their shots up, and I think as a team, everybody did exactly what they needed to do, and that's why they were able to have such a massive win.
Yeah, and also I want to mention something about Colin Madsen. Let's give him his flowers. He is a phenomenal basketball player for this UW Whitewater Warhawks team. He had 28 points in this one. He had 7 rebounds, of course. When you watch this guy play, this is a guy that can create his own shot. He can, hit the step back three, can hit a mid-ranger as well. I mean, he's just overall Whitewater's big-time scorer that they kind of lost last year in Carter Capstrand, and now you're seeing Madsen coming into this role and be that big star. But also, give credit to Darius Chestnut. He had 15 off the bench as well.
He shot 6 for 7 from the field.
Yeah, 6 for 7 for the.
I mean, that's a great field goal percentage.
6 for 7 for the field. He went 2 for 2 for the three-point line. He was very well off the bench. Richie Warren put up 13 points. Luke Barr has been the big post. I saw him dunk a basketball, so he could do that too. He's been the main post guy, but he kind of struggled a little bit in this one. He had 9 points, but he still found a way to get 4 assists and still contribute into this win. But overall, and plus they can play some defense too.
I don't know if I can say Luke Barr struggled. They won by 22. He shot 50% from the three-point line. I think that's probably a stretch.
I guess, okay, he played 17 minutes.
But
he didn't get as much playing time. Yeah, you're right.
Probably should move on and talk about the women. The women have started off as one of the best teams in Division III, right? They started off undefeated, but they suffered their first loss against Calvin College, right? And that was a rough loss because they couldn't get the ball in the basket. They shot 20 from 66 from the field, and none of our star players were really able to put the ball in the basket. Mia Gillis had a rough game, shot 0 for 6 from the field. Renee Rittmeyer, she shot about 4 from 10 from the field. Just nobody could score consistently.
Yeah, definitely. I would also these games are bound to happen. You're not going to shoot lights out every game. But, they kept Calvin to 61 points, so they did okay defensively. But at the end of the day, Calvin did a really good job at shutting down Mia Gillis. You talked about she didn't hit a field goal. But usually when you can hit the field goal, you can try to find other ways to score, like get to the free throw line. But my thing about Mia Gillis, she did not go to the free throw line at all in this one.
That was a rough one. Like you said, right, the defense was good. It was phenomenal defense, but our offense couldn't just capitalize, right? We shot under 50% from the field and probably closer to about 30.
Great conversation, guys. So let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll sort through our remaining sports garbage right after this. Stay tuned.
Matt checking in to see how Sam is doing on his project, and it's getting close to exporting now, the final step in the process. And it is complete, and Sam is hyped. Finally gets complete and spikes the ball into the end zone. Sam's celebrating with his colleagues, and they throw a flag on the play. The ref's going to call excessive celebration. Sam is in disbelief and can't believe it. He tries to dispute the call, but the ref is not having any of it.
You can see it. His potential, that is. You see it even when he may not. You see that the things that spark his interest today will in time ignite the things he pursues tomorrow. And ultimately, help him reach new heights. All he needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the Universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on! Stepped it anyways. Oh, she got that. They're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
Have you heard of UROC?
We're part of Whitewater and our own thing.
Come on, we'll show you.
I learned how to be a college student here, and now I'm headed off to Madison to study global health, and I know I'm ready.
People like me who aren't a fan of big crowds would really like UROC because it's welcoming and it's laid back.
My advisor helped me figure out my schedule, organize my time, fill out my FAFSA, and figure out what classes I liked and how to turn that into a major. And if I had to do it again, I would choose UROC. You ready to rock?
You belong here.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
Welcome back to Garbage Time on UWW-TV. Let's continue and talk with some more sports. So guys, we got some football. It was cold. It was a winter wonderland. unfortunately, we came up short.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to start because I think kind of all season, right, I kind of warned you guys about what was going to happen with this Warhawk football team. And every week, Michael tried to tell me I was wrong. But you can only go as far as your quarterback, right? Klinkner struggled all year, and it showed again against DePaul. I mean, right, Klinkner was 16 for 22, 2 touchdowns. It was actually pretty good. He also had an interception, which is typical of Klinkner, so I didn't even have to mention that. You guys knew he threw an interception. He does it every week. But the rough thing about having a bad quarterback is that your running game is never going to, take off. If they know your quarterback just sucks, why would they even care about a run? You know what I mean? I mean, why would they ever care about a pass, right? And because of that, Ty Schultz could never run. He had 9 attempts for 28 yards, and they were in the snow. How do you, only 9 attempts in the snow? That doesn't even make sense, right? But when your quarterback is Klinkner, that's what happens, right? And DePaul, though it was a close game, they showed that they were the better team, right? Their running backs, 19 attempts, 17 attempts, right? 76 yards, 63 yards, a touchdown. Ballantyne, right? 182 yards, 2 touchdowns. And they showed what happens when you have a real quarterback. When you have a quarterback that threatens the defense, how much more your offense can succeed rushing the ball.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the facts. I'm talking about the facts.
Justin Klinkner played a better game than Scott Ballantyne. He turned the ball less, had more passing yards, and had a better completion percentage.
Life is more than a completion percentage. And
DePaul.
The big thing is, right, they had to game plan for Ballantyne. You don't have to game plan for Klinkner. And that's why the rushing attack was able to succeed. Because when you game plan for a quarterback, the rushing game does better. When you don't have to care about a quarterback, the rushing game is going to suffer, and the quarterback's going to do exactly what you expect from them to do.
Or is it
nothing?
Or is it that if you get the running game going, you open up the passing game? Never thought about that way.
You need it to work both ways.
Well, yes, true, but you know how you open up the pass game? By establishing the run, dominating them in between the trenches. Whitewater could not do that Saturday in a snowy game. They've been dominating on the run all season long. Ty Schultz only had 28 rushing yards, so that put a little bit more stress on Klinkner. And do you know how hard it is to throw a football in the snow?
I mean, he threw 22 times. I mean,
he completed 16 enough. He did pretty solid for the snow conditions.
I'm saying, right? Is also think about it like this, right? Ballantyne had 16 completions, 32 attempts, right? Their rushing had 19 and 17 attempts, right? DePaul had the ball a lot more. So Whitewater's defense, I don't know what they were doing. They were out there just playing around, frolicking in the snow, doing snow angels, because they were not stopping anything. They had the ball the entire time.
Don't worry, Nadiri. You have 2 more years to make fun of Justin Klinkner. Well, anyway, moving on. We got some NFL football. Packers and Lions, Nadiri. What a game.
I mean, that was a big one, right? That was a fantastic win by the Packers. I am one to not be the biggest fan of the Jordan Love guy. I'll admit, I'm not a Jordan Love guy, but he had a great game, fantastic game. I can give it to him. He had 234 yards, 4 touchdowns, and more than anything, the MVP of that game is Micah Parsons. 2.5 sacks, and he wrecked the Lions' game plan when the Packers needed him the most. I mean, the Lions' offense, they had an all right game, but Love outplayed Goff, and Micah Parsons outplayed the entire Lions' defense. So that's how you win games.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree. And plus, also, Matt LaFleur actually coached pretty solidly. I'll definitely say.
And more than anything, I don't want to cut you off, but the Packers receivers caught the ball.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Dontavian
Wicks had a fantastic game. Christian Watson, he had his typical Christian Watson drops, but he also had some big plays as well. I mean, the Packers' offense was really flourishing against the Lions' defense. And the Lions' secondary was doing very well, but they were doing well when the Lions were hurt. And ever since the Lions got their starting cornerbacks back, they've been significantly worse. So I wonder what that'll mean for the rest of the season.
All right, so now going to the Chiefs and the Cowboys. If Chris Collinsworth was announcing this game, he would have been going absolutely crazy. Patrick Mahomes, 23 for 34, 4 touchdowns. That is sort of what we see out of Patrick Mahomes.
Oh boy.
Not as good as Dak Prescott with 27 for 39, 2 touchdowns. He might have thrown an interception, but he passed for 320 yards.
Eli, I have a question, right? You said that Patrick Mahomes wasn't as good as Dak Prescott, but then you just said that Patrick Mahomes had a bigger game. He had 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Dak Prescott had 2 touchdowns and an interception. What are you talking about, man? What are we talking about?
Forget that happened. Anyway, the Cowboys ended up winning 31-28. How about them Cowboys?
I mean, the Cowboys, right? It's the Cowboys. They're fool's gold every year. Right? Their defense was terrible. Their defense is finally learning how to play well. But at the end of the day, they're the Cowboys. If there's one thing that you can count on, is that the Cowboys are going to forget how to play football when they need to most. If they draw a team like the 49ers in the playoffs, we know where the Cowgirls are going to go. They're going to go back to Dallas.
But do you know who beat the Cowboys early on and is kind of looking good this weekend? Kitty go meow. The Carolina Panthers. They pulled off a great win over the Los Angeles Rams, 31-28. Again, I watched some film on this one, and the Panthers looked really good. Bryce Young looked poised in the pocket. He was making good decisions. He was hitting open receivers. Now, looking at the stats do not tell everything. You know, he went 15 for 20. The completion percentage, he was great, but he only had 206 passing yards. You're thinking that's a little low. But Bryce Young took care of the football, and that's what matters more. And he had 3 touchdowns above that too, 85.7 QBR. So he had a very good one. He looked comfortable in the pocket. They could run the football too. The Panthers O-line were moving bodies back there.
More than anything, I think we need to talk about Matthew Stafford, MVP frontrunner. He had his first bad game, right? The Panthers defense really made Matthew Stafford struggle. He had 2 interceptions. He started off with, I believe, a pick 6. Excuse me if I'm wrong. But they just had a wonderful game as a Panthers defense. And the Panthers right now, they're tied for the top of their division, or they might have it outright. But they're going into a bye, and I think the Panthers are going to be touching the postseason for the first time in a long time.
I want to talk about Stafford's 2 interceptions. The first one, that was tipped by Derek Brown. That was a great play by Brown. The Panthers got an interception. The second one, that was a badly thrown ball. The corner got underneath it, caught underneath Puka, and got to the pick 6. That was a bad decision. So out of the 2 interceptions, one of them was actually a bad decision. The other one, that was just a great play by Derek Brown. But again, credit the Panthers defense. They've been playing very well.
You know, I don't really understand the Panthers at all. Like, they would do absolutely horrendous against really bad teams. They lost to the Saints, but they can beat great teams like the Rams and the Packers.
I think they're like the typical story of any young team. They play down to their competition, but they come ready to play against the great teams.
Let's go back to the court with some college basketball. I'm going to start it off with VCU and Vanderbilt in the semifinals of the Battle of Atlantis. It was 43-41 at halftime. It was very close. Vanderbilt comes out on top at number 24 in the nation at 7-0. Who do you think is going to stop this Vanderbilt squad?
The SEC. We'll get there eventually, but
that sounds about right. You know, Vanderbilt. I'm not going to say that they're fool's gold, but they haven't played a lot of their hardest competition yet. And I'll kind of believe it when I see it, right? When they start beating those bigger teams in the SEC, like Michael said, then I'll start talking about Vanderbilt like a real juggernaut that they want to be. But right now, it just
Speaking
seems like
of SEC.
fake team. Speaking of SEC.
Yeah, what you got there?
Got the Texas-NC State game, right? And that was a very big game, right? NC State is ranked 23 in the country, and Texas was able to get the win 102-97 in the 5th place game at the Maui Invitational. And Texas was led by a very big game by Jordan Pope, right? Jordan Pope had 28 points, but he shot 7 for 13 from 3. 7 threes. He just absolutely rained down on the NC State Wolfpack, and I think Texas just simply outplayed them. I mean, I don't have too many notes about that.
Yeah, and then my game I want to cover here, I'm going to the Ratty Children's Invitational semifinal game where we had a shocker. TCU takes down the 10th-ranked Florida Gators 84-40. My goodness, what my main takeaway from this one, Florida guards, they really do miss their guards. So last year they had Walton Clayton Jr. and Will Richard, who are now off to the NBA, who were phenomenal. This year, things are different. TCU, they are a much smaller team. They love the pressure. Jamie Dixon really does a great job coaching that team, really gets them energized to play some great defense. They cause deflections, they cause turnovers. They cause the Florida guards' life to be miserable, and especially with Boogie Fland. Fland struggled in this one. He only had 12 points. He did go 4 for 8 for the field, but 0 for 3 from the three-point line. So he's been kind of struggling ever since being that transfer from Arkansas.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the transfer from Princeton, Xavier Lee, right? You know, he was a big guard for Princeton, had a nice tournament, and everybody was expecting for him to come to Florida and kind of see what he could do against, you know, stiffer competition. And he did not show up against his game at TCU against, at all.
TCU applied some great pressure, and they beat the Badgers, which a long time, right? But anyways, TCU's looking well.
All right, because this show is called Garbage Time, boys, what is the worst game coming up in terms of the NFL?
I think we can all agree it's the Titans versus the Browns.
Oh, for sure, man.
These are two teams that are in the tank bowl fighting for draft stock position. So the Titans are 1-11, the Browns are 3-9. Of course, the Cam Ward's been miserable under that Titans offense. And of course, you got the Browns. Shedeur, he's coming back.
You know, I mean, I'm kind of excited, right? that was the battle between the QB1, and he was supposed to be the QB2, but he fell a little bit. And I think it'll be a pretty good game, right? Both teams are not the best, but we see two good defenses, and we see two young quarterbacks who are going to get war tested, right? Cam Ward has struggled throughout this year, but he's shown some flashes. And Shedeur, I can't say Shedeur struggled at all. Shedeur actually looked phenomenal in his 2 starts. The game where he got thrown in kind of randomly, I'm just not going to count that one. But these men, I'm type of excited for this game.
We all know the phrase, and we're the Cleveland Browns. So let's go to our final segment. What is something you guys have to vent about?
Okay, so I know this has been a rule like ever since earlier this season, but I've yet to touch on this. I hate the continuation rule in college basketball and just basketball in general. You're telling me when someone is attacking the lane, gets fouled while driving while even having the chance to shoot or pass, it is a shooting foul. No, it is an on-the-floor foul. We're trying to get rid of this rule in the NBA, not implementing it in college basketball.
Who is weird, right? This rule actually works phenomenally. I mean, you have to think about this, right? Players get fouled out of bad faith all the time. There are stars in the league like Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the most dominant players in the league. And without continuation, they're just going to foul him in the lane, and the Bucks are never going to get to the free throw line, right? Players like LeBron. No, let me talk. Players like LeBron. These players, they drive down into the lane, and they foul them before they can get a shot attempt because they know it's a layup. That's why it's the continuation foul.
Okay, but here's the thing. When you're talking about continuation foul, you're talking about like getting a chance to shoot, right? But here's the thing. When you are in the triple threat position,
they're not in the triple threat position, though. That's not the thing that happens.
But they have the option to shoot.
Michael, what you're talking about is a hypothetical.
You're talking about hypothetical as well.
But my hypothetical is implemented currently. Your hypothetical does not exist,
Guys,
so my hypothetical is stronger.
Inside Voices, please. Can we talk about Eagles fans? Like, I feel bad for the Eagles.
I mean, if you want to feel bad for the Eagles, you can, I guess. We were talking about a much more
Their fans are so spoiled. They come off a Super Bowl, and now they're getting booed off the field after every 4th down.
Yeah, because they suck. When your offense performs like Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley do, I would boo them off the field, too. And, worse than anything, the Bears doing all them dances in their end zone, I mean, that's just wrong.
Thanks, team, but we're currently out of time. Stay tuned for UWW-TV for more Garbage Time this week. This has been Garbage Time on UWW-TV, and P.S. Thank you guys for a great semester.